Hey everybody, it's Angela and I am back with another process video. I am going to be scrapbooking this picture of my granddaughter. I really love the bright grass behind her. It's a really spring green, kind of a yellow green color, and it just really inspired me. So I wanted to pull out a paper collection that would really bring those colors out, and that led me to the Pink Paisley Citrus Bliss collection. In particular, this paper here with the circles caught my eye. And I thought, oh, it's been a long time since I've done a circle layout. So I thought I'll just pull out my 2-inch punch and punch out a bunch of these. And I go with a lot of that citrusy green color, and then also some a quieter blues and grays and text papers to kind of offset that really citrus color. And so I do that, and I also pull out this darker green because I thought that really complemented the grass. And I really liked, there was a red dot paper in the collection, and I did cut that out as a circle, and I thought it would be cool to bring in some more red into this layout. Since red is the complementary color of green, they should do well together. So when I went through my scraps, I found some more citrusy colors, and then I also found some red, and I wanted to use it very sparingly, but I wanted to include the red. So I pulled out my 2.5 and 3-inch punch as well, and just punched a whole bunch of circles out of these. Now, the ironic thing is I don't wind up using any of these circle elements on my layout. My layout goes a completely different direction, but I went ahead and I left this in just, so you can see that sometimes it just doesn't work out, or you get inspired by another product along the way and you change your mind, and it just happens, and to have fun and go with it. So these ephemera pieces I'm looking through, I usually put several ephemera packs in one of these little iris cases. So I have mostly the basic gray fresh cut collection, and I also have like an American Crafts, a really old collection in here that I don't know the name of, I'm sorry, but these are just out of my stash. And so I'm looking for things that would have the right color, and I'm also looking at circular items as well. So I do find that Hello Love, which I thought would be perfect for a title, and it also had just the right color of green in it, so I wanted to use that. And I'm finding that little tag I just put under it is actually an acetate tag that has the yellow and green on it. And in the background there, you can see that frame, that one there, it also has acetate in it that has a little bit of that green color on it. I pull out the acetate sunshine. This is an acetate half of a yellow doily that will come back in here in a second. And the acetate rainbow. And I'm just kind of moving stuff around, but I'm just not feeling it. And I can't quite get things to cluster the way I want them to. And I'm just not liking the red, even though I thought it would, be going so well with that green. It just really wasn't. So I pulled out this new item that I hadn't used yet that I got, and it is from KS Craft Lovers store at AliExpress, and they are just vellum stickers. And I have 2 of her collection packs. I think one is vintage flowers and one is flowers and birds. And I hadn't used them before, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to pull out a couple yellow flowers from that. And so I'm kind of liking that, and that's when I decide, you know what, maybe I don't want red on this layout. Let's just abandon that idea and just go with the yellows and blues and greens. So there you can see I pull off the rest of the red, and I like that better. It just, I don't know, the red was really throwing me, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to pull out a few more of these vellum stickers and just use these on my layout. So it's a great pack. It has, you can see there, some really big pieces and some a little bit smaller. There's not any tiny ones in that because I think it might be a little bit too hard to deal with, but I love these little bit larger sizes on these. They're great for layering in the background. And I thought they would be really difficult to peel from the backer, but they aren't. the sticker itself is kind of vellum and the backer is like a clear acetate, and they come off relatively easy, even for me with no fingernails, because I'm farming so much. My nails, yeah, I just keep them short. I still was able to peel it off, and when it came off, it didn't like curl up and stick back to itself. You know, I'm always afraid of, like, when you take washi tape off, it kind of sticks back on itself and turns into a big mess. And these didn't, and the adhesive was good, and it was nice and even on the back of the sticker. So I was really impressed with these, and I'll probably check out her store and see if she has more collections and add to, because I really did enjoy working with these. They're very lovely, and yeah, so I'll put a link to her store down below. So anyhow, here's where I'm start trying to figure out how I'm going to peel this off, and once I figure out which texture is the top and which is the bottom, it peels off pretty easy. And there you can see it didn't like curl up and stick back on itself, so that was nice. Now these are vellum stickers, so you do see the text kind of come up through. They're somewhat see-through, and which is kind of cool because you can layer them like that. And yeah, I really liked it. So as you can see, I did put some fun foam behind my photo just to lift that up, and my ATG gun does not adhere to my fun foam for some reason, so I have to put wet glue on that, but it does stick okay to this acetate, so I'm just using it to stick down that little acetate piece of a doily. And then there, I did use one of the circles. Out of all those circles I punched, I kept one of them there. And then now I'm just trying to figure out how I want to layer these items, because I have to kind of know what order in which to stick them down. So I'm just going to put half of that tag on foam tape just to support it, so I can overlap my photograph just a little bit. So now I'm going to put a few more of those, a little bit of ferns and a little bit more white flowers on there. Go ahead and put this large cluster of yellow daisies down first. Then I'm going to go ahead and adhere this tag. So I just used the ATG gun to stick this acetate tag down. And it doesn't matter if the adhesive shows, because I'm going to put that title piece over the top and that'll cover anything. I put down the fern. Now I do go ahead and I put ATG where it's going to overlap my photo, and I put some wet glue there, but I forgot that that wet glue is going over the acetate tag, so of course it's not going to dry right away. So I wind up trying to stick that down with a Zot later. That does not work well either, because yeah, so I wind up doing my hot glue on that instead. But I'm just going to go ahead and put down these other items. Got one more piece of fern there. So yeah, I'm really liking that. You know, it just goes to show sometimes you have something in your mind when you start, and then once I use these vellum stickers, I just got inspired to use them. And so, you know, I just kind of went with it because I was having fun and I was making a layout and using my product. And I guess, you know, it doesn't really matter what product I use as long as, you know, I get some stuff done. So now that Zot would not stick on the back because, you know, there's a bunch of wet glue behind there. And so I tried to get it to stick and it wasn't having it. So I just go ahead and start heating up my glue gun. And while that's heating, I want to back my layout with something. So I'm pulling a few pieces that I may want to back the layout with. And I thought about using one of my punch dies just partially along the top. And so I thought I'd do a test first, you know, just doing a few little scallop punches and then like maybe ripping the rest. And I just really didn't like that look, so I was glad I had done a test on a scrap piece. And I decided to just tear the whole top and bottom of the layout and give it that kind of rough look. Since the stickers are somewhat, have kind of a vintage feel, I thought a little messier edge would look nice with that. So just kind of rough that up, and I rip a little piece of it, and then I'm auditioning here what I would like to use behind it. And I go with that kind of yellow one because it just, I don't know, it seems happy to me. And I like the bright feel of it. So I know I want to take a little bit off the bottom as well. Just kind of rough that up. And then I knew I didn't know if I wanted to glue that little thing back or how I was going to adhere that. But I go ahead, and while I'm thinking about it, I put some adhesive down to adhere my photo or my layout. And I'm thinking, well, maybe I should just glue it flat or curl it or put some foam behind it. But eventually I decide to just staple it down with 2 of the tiny staples, and then just do a smaller one there at the bottom to offset that. Now that my glue gun's heated up, I can just go ahead and adhere that down. I'm sure the wet glue will dry eventually, but with the acetate, I knew it was going to take a while. So I have these little charms I had gotten at Tuesday Morning a while ago, and they're the pink paisley. I think this is from the Oh My Heart collection. And I thought, well, since I want to put twine on that tag, that would be a good place to tie in one of those charms. So I pulled out the yellow heart because I like that. And then I wanted to add one more texture to this layout, so I pull out some puffy stickers. I find that one kind of yellowy green heart, which I stick on my kind of title piece there. And then I go through more of my puffy stickers, kind of looking for some more yellow and green items. Got some Chamel, some Maggie Holmes, some Pebbles. And on the Chamel, there's that one yellow flower, and I think that's the only one I take off of that. On Maggie Holmes, I decided to just go with this little bird at the top there and that sentiment sticker. And so that seemed to be enough, you know, just lends a little bit extra texture there. So I go ahead and pull out my yellow and white baker's twine. And I just go ahead and thread that heart on. And first I was just going to knot it, but then I decided to go ahead and tie it in a bow. So I really like that extra texture on the layout as well. So I go ahead and trim that, and I think, you know what, I'm done, but do I want to add some sprinkles of something like in gold or black? And those colors didn't really appeal to me, so I go ahead and I pull out my shimmers, the No Yoking in yellow there, and decide to put a few just yellow sprinkles. They'll be really subtle because the yellow, of course, isn't very dark or anything, but it just lends that extra little touch there. So I go ahead and I add a few drops of that, and then that is my completed layout, and I really love how it turned out. It was totally different than what I started with in my head, but I definitely had fun and loved the end result. So there you can see the torn and stapled edge, some of those acetate and vellum stickers, puffy stickers, that fresh cut frame from Basic Gray, the yellow splatters, and the pink paisley charm. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions or anything, just leave them down below, and I will see you in the next video. Talk to you later. Bye.